Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm going to talk about what it means to have the sun conjunct to the moon in the composite chart. So the composite chart is different than the synastry relationship chart comparison. So it's not comparing the two charts, it's actually a separate chart that is made from the midpoints of the two people's chart. So it's another technique in relationship astrology. It shows more about who the couple becomes together, and it shows the relationship as an energy, as a separate entity. So this aspect of the sun conjunct to the moon in the composite chart might be the holy grail of all aspects in relationship astrology. It might be one of the best things ever, and you always have to look at everything though. And I'll give some examples of when this could not be good, because there are always, positive and negative to every single aspect. And, you never want to listen to any astrologer who says this aspect is wholly good or this aspect is wholly bad, because, there's much amazing lessons to be learned from the difficult aspects, and there's hard lessons to be learned from the good aspects as well. So, but yeah, this one does tend to be a very strong indication of compatibility. And what do I mean by compatibility? With the sun and the moon conjunct in the composite chart, it shows that like the combined soup that we make, which is like the composite chart, we make a stronger partnership than we are as individuals. So like with this relationship, we really get a boost here because we have our inner masculine, the sun principle, combining with our inner feminine, the moon principle. So it really shows that coming together, we form this strong bond and partnership, this strong like inner wholeness that we don't have outside of the relationship. So this one can be very addicting for that purpose, because we actually are stronger together. We are more whole in the partnership. And so that is a really strong indication of a very powerful bond. So where it can get difficult though is and I've seen this before in a couple's chart where the sun was really close conjunction with the moon and Mars, I think, and they were all squaring Pluto at a really close degree. And this partnership, while they were strongly bonded, they were also very obsessive and toxic, and the relationship was just very severe and challenging on lots of levels. So you have to look at everything, because that could be going on. That's just one example. There could also be sun and moon conjunct and they're both square to Saturn, and then we have some difficulty there. I think Beyonce and Jay-Z may have that actually going on. I don't remember their exact details. They definitely have the sun-moon conjunction in their composite chart, though. Beyonce and Jay-Z do, and I'm sure many other celebrity couples do as well, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. But Beyonce and Jay-Z came to me here. So this aspect, some of the benefits are, like I've said, we actually create this stronger partnership together. We become stronger as individuals together. The other thing, and this is actually from Robert Hand's Planets in Composite book, which is my favorite book on composite charts. It's right there, that purple book, right there, you guys. But anyway, so he says that this relationship can have a singularity of purpose that is lacking in other relationships. So you can actually come together to give birth to something new. So this could be a very creative partnership. Creating a child would be one example of this, but there's this ability, because the sun and moon are conjunct. So this is kind of like a new moon relationship. Like if your relationship was a phase of the moon, this would be the new moon, right? So with this, you can birth something new into the world, he says. So this can be a very creative partnership as well with the sun and moon conjunct here. And yeah, it also can show too that the masculine and feminine are really in harmony here. So it's easy for you guys to have those roles in the relationship. So what do I mean by that? I mean, like, you know, in a relationship, it is natural for sometimes one person to lead and the other to go along with that lead. Like there's a natural, you know, give and take. Like when we think of a partnership, right, we can refer always back to the Aries Libra opposition, right? You know, Aries the first house, Libra the seventh house. So in a healthy relationship, there's like a back and forth, you know, one person leads and the other person follows. One's the masculine, one's the feminine. With the sun conjunct moon in the composite chart, we don't have any qualms, or what's that word? We don't have any, you know, issue with who's the leader and who's the follower. We naturally, maybe we switch roles sometimes, but we naturally can go along with the other person at times as well. And there's a really easy flow there between, you know, who's the leader and who's not. And like we also with this one, it's so positive that we tend to have an easier time overlooking negative qualities in the person or the relationship. So the one danger of this aspect is that it's so, like, we create such a strong partnership and such a strong emotional bond and we're better together that we don't see the negatives, or we put aside certain issues that maybe are issues that need to be looked at, but in the sake of harmony, we let things slide maybe too much with this aspect because it's that positive, right? So that could be the one issue here too, is that we let things slide, or we don't see the difficulties as big as they actually are. Because if we have some other tense aspects in the composite chart that are maybe maybe we're overlooking those for the sake of this bond, when maybe this bond would be better that we let go of, but it's so addicting because of its power that we don't always see those difficulties. So, I mean, if you're an astrologer, you're at a great advantage because you're going to be able to see, okay, we have the sun conjunct to moon, but we have all these other difficulties, and I'm going to look at those and I'm going to make sure we're talking and dealing with these issues, right? And I mean, with the sun conjunct the moon, though, you are at such an advantage of being able to communicate and being able to understand each other that you likely, I mean, depending on what Mercury is doing in the composite chart, you should be able to talk about things. But it's just good to be aware that the benefits to this one are so strong that you might overlook some of the difficulties that are inherent in all relationships, right? But this one, in general, is a really good indication of a soulmate partnership. You're also really close to each other, so it's hard to be like impersonal or like even like logical because you're so bonded, right? That yeah, you're very personally involved in this relationship. So like if this is a work relationship or a partnership that's not romantic, you might be a little bit more involved than in some of your other work relationships or friendships, because this one, it hits you deep, right? Because there is such a strong bond and compatibility, right? The other thing, oh, sorry for my phone noises there, you guys. The sexual attraction can be quite strong with this aspect, which is interesting because like sun and moon, you know, you wouldn't always think of those as sexual planets, but it's because of that masculine feminine integration. I mean, the sex can be really natural and we can really have like that magnetic pull to each other because of the compatibility of this aspect and the strong bonding and fireworks that it creates. So if you have this aspect, consider yourself lucky. I think that it's a really good indication of marriage. It's really common in marriages or long-term partnerships. So not as common as Sun conjunct Mercury or Venus though. But it's even more powerful than those other Sun conjunctions in the composite chart. This one is it's huge. I'm obsessed with it. I love seeing it because when I see it, I'm like, oh my god, this is a powerful bond. So I'm glad you guys requested this one for me to talk about, because I actually wanted to talk about it anyways, because it's just like blowing my mind. But yeah, I have seen it in cases where the relationship is too difficult, but the people have the hardest time letting it go because of the strong compatibility of this aspect. Or the strong, like, because maybe we're not compatible in other ways with other aspects going on, but the strong bonding with this aspect is really hard to let go of, because we really feel like we've merged with our other half and we have found our soulmate with this aspect. So you have to look at everything and see what else is going on. Just one wonderful aspect can't make or break the whole chart. So you have to look at everything and make sure, you know, in the synastry, are we actually compatible? In the rest of the composite chart, is there too many difficulties for this one aspect to save it? Although sometimes this aspect could save a lot of difficulties because of the harmony inherent in it. And the Sun conjunct to Moon in synastry is also really similar, although it's different. I'll have to talk about that in a separate video. But the Sun and Moon are the biggest planets, you know, for our personality and our emotions, our identity. It's basically like our inner outer self. So when we have this conjunction either in synastry or composite, it's an indication of an extremely powerful relationship, and even more so in the composite, because the composite is like the chart of the relationship itself and who we become long term and who we are together. So yeah, it's definitely powerful to see this. I'd love to hear your experiences of this one and long-term marriages, friendships, love affairs, work partnerships. How has this one gone for you? Because I'm sure that it has been significant. I am almost certain that any relationship with this conjunction in the composite chart is a significant relationship because of the power behind these principles. So yeah, I hope that was helpful, you guys. I'm doing requests. This was a request. If you have a request for me to do, I'm taking your requests, so let me know below. And also, I do offer one-on-one sessions. I do relationship charts. I look at synastry and composite charts. That's one of my sessions. And then I also do a personal natal chart session deep into your own astrology chart. So yeah, that would be fun to work with you guys on that level. My links are below, and we'll talk soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.